Reach in and grab it.
Cool!
Oh! Yeah, that's yours. Santa brought it here.
Santa must have known you liked dinosaurs.
What does dinosaur say? Rawr!
Right. Santa was flying by here. Goes, oh, Everett has a sock here. We better drop something off for him.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Everett, what does Santa Claus say? And what does Mrs. Claus say? Hee hee hee.
Oh. I always thought Mrs. Claus says, eat, Santa, eat. Nobody wants a thin Santa.
Rawr!
What are they? Pretty?
Pretty.
Are they bulbs?
They're light.
Yeah.
Are they blinking?
Go touch them.
You want to touch them? You can.
You go touch them. Mom will. See?
You gonna go touch
Eat, Papa, eat. That's what Santa says. Mrs. Claus.
Santa Claus says that too.
a cookie? Did Santa eat cookies?
Did you wrap it? It takes all day to wrap it. Oh, God. Here, you pull that side, I'll pull this side. Oh!
Oh,
What is it now?
Everett, what is this?
Oh, that's your what? I thought it was a little mouse. Are you a little mouse?
You're a
I
mouse.
knew it. Look at that.
that's super cute.
Thank you, Everett.
Thank you, Everett.
You say you're welcome.
Sorry, not even an Everett.
Even Everett. A little mousy.
Everett.
Another
Thank
cow.
you.
You're welcome.
Christmas ham cooking.
Had to work yesterday.
We were planning on going to today.
Did you go? So did you just go to bed early?
I slept till these guys were at my mom and dad's.
When we were younger, we used to go.
You did that.
Yes. I said about Jessica does sneak a peek. RC.
You gotta be careful.
Did you shake it? I wonder if you can guess one.
I'm missing two. I know one's under there.
OMG. Who is that? Who? It's a poop book.
Gotta open it up.
Winnie the Pooh by G.N.G. Smith. Oh!
Read it.
There was a place near to where Everett Hennon lived in St. Cloud called the 100-Acre Woods. We often played there with Grandpa Tony. One day, when they were playing, Everett came across his two friends, Pooh and Piglet. They were both fast asleep, and since it looked as though it was going to rain, Everett gently woke them. Wake up, Piglet. Wake up, Pooh, he said. If you stay out here, you'll get wet. Piglet blinked his eyes and sat up. Pooh yawned and stretched. Hello, Everett. Have you come to play? Asked Pooh. Yes, I am here with Grandpa Tony, he answered, but it looks as if it's going to rain. Would you like to come to my house? Asked Piglet. Yes, but we'd better hurry. I don't want to get wet, said Everett. They set off. The wind was growing stronger and stronger. It blew so hard that Piglet, who was a very small animal, was blown right up into the air. Luckily, Everett caught him. I think I better carry you, Piglet, said Everett, or you might blow away again. Bother, said Pooh. It's starting to rain. A big drop fell on my nose. Think, think, think. Oh, my house is around the corner. Perhaps we should go there instead of Piglet's. Okay, it looks as though Grandpa Tony has gone to find shelter too, said Everett. They got to Pooh's house just in time. The rain was beginning to pour down as Pooh shut the door. Well, that's the end of the honey expedition, he said gloomily. What's a honey expedition, said Everett. A search for honey, explained Pooh. Winter is coming and bears don't go out much in the winter. So seeing as I'm a bear and I love honey, I thought I'd better build up my supply. And Piglet and I have been searching for honey all day. We got tired and we sat down to rest and fell asleep, added Piglet. I'll help you search for more when it stops raining, offered Everett. Oh, thank you, Everett, said Pooh. He yawned. It's getting late. I think I'll go to bed now and wait for the rain to stop. So Pooh went to bed and Everett and Piglet read a book together. The rain was falling softly outside. It was so quiet and peaceful that Everett and Piglet fell asleep too. The next morning they woke up to the sound of Pooh crying out, "Oh, oh my, house is leaking." Everett squealed when he realized that Pooh's house was filling up with water. Water had washed all the honey pots clean. Now I have no honey at all, Pooh said, sadly. Everett waded to the window. There are floodwaters all around the house, Pooh, he said. We'll have to try to reach higher ground. Pooh climbed out the window onto a branch. Don't let my honey pots float away or I won't have anything to keep my honey in, he cried. I think we should all float out of here ourselves, said Everett. Soon they were floating down the stream. Pooh had a chair for a boat. Everett was floating on an upside-down table, and Piglet was bobbing in one of the empty honey jars. After a while, they floated right up to Christopher Robin and some of the other friends who were standing on dry ground. Hello, Pooh. Hello, Piglet. Hello, Everett, called Christopher Robin. What are you doing floating around like that? There was a flood in my house, and all my honey has gone, explained Pooh. I have a rumbly in my tummy. We need to find him some honey now, added Everett. Oh, poor Pooh. Well, I think I know of a tree with honey in it, said Christopher Robin. Let's go. They walked through the wood until they came to a very tall tree. Way up high there was a hole in the trunk with bees buzzing around it. It's a long way up, Pooh, said Everett. Can you climb that high? If there's honey up that high, I can climb up that high, said Pooh, and up he went. Oh dear, he said when he was a long way up. My paws are getting tired. All of a sudden, Pooh was on his way down this tree. Oh bother, I wish I was fast as this on the way up, he thought to himself as he bounced from branch to branch. He landed on the ground with a thud. Don't try again, Pooh. It was too dangerous, said Everett. I don't think he would say that. We'll find honey somewhere else. But Pooh was not the sort to give up easily, especially when he put his mind to honey. This time, Pooh climbed all the way up. He had to wiggle out onto a very thin branch to reach the hole. And just as he did, the branch went snap, and down he went. Silly old bear, said Christopher Robin. You can't reach the hole now with that branch broken, Pooh. Oh, yes, I can, said Pooh, who was a very determined bear. Would you, by any chance, have a balloon, Christopher Robin? Yes, said Christopher Robin, but what do you want a balloon for? Honey, whispered Pooh. You'll see. Christopher Robin and Everett ran off to get a balloon. Pooh grabbed a hold of the balloon string and started floating up into the air. Everett took his feet and guided him towards the honey beehives. Oh, thank you, Everett, called Pooh as he floated up. The bees swarmed angrily around Pooh when he stuck his paw in the hole. Then the string came loose on the balloon. The air came out with a whoosh. Oh dear, cried Pooh. He held on tight as the balloon sped along with hundreds of bees swarming around him. When Pooh finally came back to Earth, he found that he was right near Rabbit's house. Oh, wonderful. Rabbit always has honey, thought Pooh happily. Everett, Christopher Robin, and the others caught up to Pooh. Rabbit looked rather worried as he thought he knew what Pooh was thinking. Pooh Bear, said Rabbit rather uncertainly. How about some lunch? Thank you, Rabbit. Perhaps just a small smackerel of honey, said Pooh. Pooh squeezed through Rabbit's front door behind Rabbit. People can't fit through Rabbit's front door, explained Christopher Robin. We'll have to wait out here. We may as well sit down. This could take a while, he added. Meanwhile, Everett told Christopher Robin about his last birthday, which was on September 16th. Grandpa Tony had decorated his home in St. Cloud with lots of balloons of different shapes and colors. They had so much fun playing with games and eating all delicious cakes. Inside, Rabbit watched as Pooh ate and ate and ate. Rabbit shook his head. Will you be staying long? He asked Pooh. Pooh looked at the honey jar. There was only one left. Not very long, he said. When he finished, Pooh tried to wiggle through Rabbit's front door. When he was halfway in and halfway out, he stopped. This door hole seems to have shrunk, he said. I think it might be you who has grown bigger, Pooh said Everett. Pooh had eaten so much honey that he was bigger than ever before. He was stuck. Everybody pull, cried Christopher Robin. All the friends got in line and pulled, but it was no use. Pooh didn't budge. Pooh, Pooh, said Christopher Robin. I think we'll have to wait for Pooh to get thinner. And so they did. And then one morning, when Rabbit was beginning to think he might never be able to use his front door again, it happened. He budged, cried Rabbit. Christopher Robin, he budged, he badged, he booged. Heave ho, shouted all the friends. They tugged on Pooh outside as Rabbit pushed from the inside. Rabbit pushed and Everett, Christopher Robin, and the others pulled with all their might. Suddenly, there was a loud pop. Everett fell back onto Christopher Robin, and Christopher Robin fell back onto poor Kanga and Eeyore and rolled into the bushes. Pooh had shot out of Rabbit's front door like a rocket. There he goes, cried Rabbit. Uh-oh, said Everett, shading his eyes to watch. Pooh headed right for the old tree trunk. Watch out, Pooh! Everyone watched as Pooh's head and shoulders disappeared into the hole in the tree trunk like a cork into a bottle. Pooh! Shouted Christopher Robin. Are you all right? Oh, yes, I'm the happiest bear in the world, sang Pooh. I just discovered the biggest supply of honey I've ever seen, and the bees have gone and left it all for me. Thank you, Everett. You're welcome, Pooh said Everett. Let's go and get your honey pot so that we can fill them up. Then you'll have a supply of honey for the whole winter. Oh, do you think you could get them for me, asked Pooh? I think I better stay here and mind the honey. Laughing together, Everett and his friends set off to Pooh's house. The end. Oh boy! You were in the book.